You were the one who was supposed to go far. You had the talent. You had the drive. You were the person everyone expected to make it. So why is it that you keep quitting the very things you care about most? Because somewhere along the way, the momentum just dies. The project gets abandoned. The plan quietly fizzles out. The goal fades so slowly you don't even notice it leave. And here's the strangest part. From the outside, nothing looks wrong. You're still capable, still smart, still the person who could do anything if they really wanted to. But inside, there's this quiet frustration that follows you around. You keep starting things and never finishing them. You feel behind, even though you used to be the one out in front. You watch other people pass you, people who aren't smarter than you, people who aren't more gifted than you. They just kept going, and somehow that was enough. And the worst part? You can't explain why you keep stalling. Well, it turns out there's a reason, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let me show you exactly how it happens. It starts with something that feels completely harmless. When you begin something new, you begin with a feeling, excitement, inspiration, that rush of, this time is going to be different. We call that motivation, and motivation feels incredible. It's loud, it's electric, it makes starting almost effortless. But here's the hidden cost nobody warns you about. Motivation was never built to last. It's a mood, not a foundation. And the moment it fades, and it always fades, you're left standing in front of something that suddenly feels hard, or boring, or uncertain. That is the exact moment most people quit. Not because they're weak, not because they couldn't do it, but because the only thing holding them up was a feeling, and the feeling left the room. Let me give you a picture of this. Think about the person who joins the gym in January. The first week, they're unstoppable. New shoes, new playlist, a photo of the workout plan on the fridge. Then week 3 arrives. The soreness sets in. The scale hasn't moved. The motivation that felt so loud in January is suddenly silent. And one cold morning, they hit snooze. Just once. Just this one time. And that one time becomes the end of the whole thing. Now multiply that across a person's entire life. The Etsy shop that sold exactly 2 things. The Spanish they were definitely going to learn. 14 days into a Duolingo streak that's now a graveyard. The podcast with 3 episodes. The novel with a brilliant first chapter and a blank second one. Sound familiar? Because here's what happens next, and this is where it gets dangerous. Every time you quit, you don't just lose the goal. You lose a little trust in yourself. Each abandoned project becomes quiet evidence, proof in your own mind that you're the kind of person who doesn't follow through. So the next time you start something, a part of you already expects to fail. You hold back. You commit halfway. You keep one foot near the exit, just in case. And of course, you quit again. It becomes a loop. And the longer that loop runs, the more alone you start to feel. Because while you're stuck restarting, everyone around you seems to be moving forward. So you stop telling people what you're working on. Because what if you abandon this one too? You stop sharing your goals out loud. You stop believing your own plans before you've even begun. And without realizing it, you start carrying this quiet, lonely weight. The feeling that you're full of potential you can never quite cash in. A whole life of almost, but you're driven, right? You should be able to fix this. So you try the obvious thing. You go looking for more motivation, more inspiration, the perfect morning routine, the right podcast, that one video that's finally going to flip the switch inside you, and it works for a day, maybe a week. Then the feeling fades, and you're right back where you started, searching for the next hit. Because here's the truth almost nobody tells you. You cannot solve a reason problem with more motivation. Motivation is fuel, but fuel with no destination just burns, loudly, brightly, and then it's gone. What actually keeps people going, long after the excitement is dead, isn't a better feeling. It's a deeper reason. And when you don't have one, your mind does something clever to protect you. It starts whispering that you're just keeping your options open, that you're too dynamic to be tied down to one thing. That quitting is actually a sign of being smart. and flexible and free. Let's call this what it really is: strategic avoidance. It's the story you tell yourself so that quitting feels like a choice instead of a pattern. And it's one of the most isolating traps there is, because it lets you feel clever while your life quietly stays exactly the same, year after year after year. So how do you break out of it? The first step, and this one is non-negotiable, is that you have to stop relying on motivation. Not because motivation is bad, it's a wonderful way to start. But building your follow-through on a feeling is the exact thing that's been sabotaging you this whole time. So instead of asking, how do I feel motivated again? You start asking a completely different question. What is my reason? The one that still matters even when the feeling is gone. And here's the part almost everyone skips. One reason is not enough, because life will test every single reason you have. It will wait until you're tired, until you're broke, until you're embarrassed, and then it will knock that reason right out from under you. So if you only have one, you fall. That's why, before you commit to anything that truly matters, you find at least three. The first reason is personal, something you want for your own life. Maybe you want a better future. Maybe you're tired of living the same year on repeat. Maybe you just want to prove something to the version of you that always quit. That reason is your fuel, but on its own, it burns out. So you need more. The second reason is growth, not the result, the growth. Here's the difference, and it's everything. Results aren't always in your control. The market, the timing, the luck, none of that is yours to command. But effort is always yours. So when your reason is growth, when the goal is simply to become better than you were yesterday, every setback turns useful. Every mistake becomes a lesson instead of a verdict. Every failure becomes part of the process instead of the end of it. Think about someone learning the guitar. The one who picks it up to be good at guitar quits in week 2. Because in week 2, you are bad at guitar. The fingers hurt, the chords buzz, it sounds like noise. But the one who picks it up just to get a little better each week, they can't fail. A bad sound today is simply a lesson for tomorrow. So they stay. And one day, they're the person at the party everyone quietly gathers around. The person whose goal is win quits the moment they lose. The person whose goal is grow can't lose. They only learn. And then there's the third reason, the one almost everyone forgets. It has to be bigger than you. Ask yourself, who else benefits if you keep going? What problem are you actually solving? Who are you doing this for, besides yourself? Picture the craftsman who's been at it for 10 years. In year 1, he was clumsy. Year 2, a little better. Most people watching would have told him to quit and find something easier. But he wasn't only doing it for himself. He was doing it for the people who'd one day use what he made, for the family who depended on him, for the quiet pride of being the person who didn't give up. And 10 years later, that ordinary person is the master everyone now points to and calls an overnight success. Because the moment your reason reaches beyond your own comfort, quitting stops being easy. You're no longer chasing a feeling. You're protecting something that matters. But here's the thing. 3 is the floor, not the ceiling. The more reasons you stack underneath you, the harder you are to knock down. So let me give you a fourth. The fourth reason is the people who come after you. Because the way you live doesn't end with you. If you quit everything, the people watching, your kids, your little brother, the friend who looks up to you, they quietly learn that quitting is just what people do. That becomes the inheritance you leave behind. But if you stay, if you become the person who finishes what they start, you hand that down instead. You become living proof that it's possible. A father who keeps showing up teaches his kid more in silence than 1,000 speeches ever could. And you don't have to stop at 4. Add a 5th reason, a 6. Stack as many as your life can hold. Because every reason you add is one more rope tying you to the thing for the day the storm comes, and the storm always comes. So you don't build one reason and hope it holds. You build a wall of them. And that, right there, is when persistence stops being a personality trait you wish you'd been born with, and becomes a decision, one you simply make again and again and again, especially on the days you don't feel like it, especially on the days nobody is watching, especially on the days when progress feels completely invisible, because those are the days that quietly decide everything. We love the dramatic success stories, don't we? The breakthrough, the big win, the overnight success. But what we never see are the years of ordinary, unglamorous days that came first. The early mornings nobody noticed, the mistakes nobody applauded, the quiet, repetitive work done when absolutely no one was watching. The strongest trees aren't the ones that grow the fastest. They're the ones that survive the longest. And the same is true for you. Success was never really about being brilliant. It was about staying committed, consistent, present, long enough for your effort to finally compound. So if you're someone who feels stuck right now, if you're brilliant at starting and terrible at finishing, if you've got a whole graveyard of half-built dreams and you've never been able to figure out why, this is where it changes. You stop waiting to feel ready, you stop hunting for the next hit of motivation, and you start building reasons, real ones, at least 3 of them, strong enough to outlast any feeling. Because here's what I need you to hear. You were never lazy. You were never broken. You were just running on fuel with no destination. Give yourself a real reason. Give yourself 3. Give yourself a whole wall of them. And you will be amazed at how far an ordinary person like you can actually go. So here's what I want you to do. If any part of this hit a little too close to home, if you recognized yourself in that loop of starting and quitting, or if something just quietly clicked into place that you've never been able to put into words before, leave a comment and tell me which part made you pause. I read them. And honestly, chances are you're not the only one who feels this way, not even close. Because sometimes just naming the pattern out loud is the first real step to finally breaking it. Thanks for listening. Take care of your mind, and I'll see you in the next one. Be betterish.